What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. We are back. John Delarose here, delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. And I'm coming at you talking about Supergirl, which, if you watch, I'm reading through actually all of the Supergirl comics ever made. And so I have a very great understanding of the character. Obviously, my Flying Sparks character, Metagirl, has some similarities there, a little different in the power levels, I would say, that make her a little bit easier of a character to write, and a much more, I'd say, realistic character to write also. But very, very into Supergirl. And when this TV show came out on CBS several years ago, I was really excited. It had a campy vibe to it, and it had the strange pacing that kind of the Flash show had, which I wasn't absolutely in love with. But something about the way Callista Flockhart managed to be the Cat Grant character, and added a both a comedic element to it and a gravitas to it worked really well. And whoever the actor was that played Jimmy Olsen actually worked really well too. Even though that they did the race swap thing to try to do the thing, it actually worked out well in this instance, which is very rare. And I actually thought Melissa Benoit did a wonderful job. She looks very Supergirl. She's got that homegrown girl next door look, to where she's innocent and yet can pull off the deal. And definitely, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I think she's absolutely gorgeous. So nice to look at. It matters, all right. And so I was pretty excited. I watched the first season, and it was pretty good. It was actually family level entertainment, which I was like, wow, I can watch this with my kids. This is really cool. It's upbeat. It's not too dark. They didn't, push that whole, gritty element like they do on so many comic things now, which don't make it much sense at all. It really felt good. And I was very happy. And at the end of the season, it switched over to the CW. And if you know much about the CW, that channel is a train wreck. And almost everything that hits that channel is a train wreck. So I don't know what happened, but Callista Flockhart quit the show, which was a bummer, because she was really a driving factor of what made it very interesting. The show went really off the rails, went full on preachy SJW stuff. The whole dynamic of everything changed. All the characters changed. They shifted around what was going on every level, to where it became completely unwatchable. And of course, you wouldn't watch this with children at this point at all, because they were just hyper sexualizing everything at that point. Really gross. And so everybody tuned out, because it was not the show that everybody liked from the first season whatsoever. And I was really sad about this. And I was like, dang, this really was an uplifting television, and that's so rare. And to watch it just go down the drain so fast is really just something that's tragic, because you don't get a lot of good TV at all these days. And of course, since I like the character of Supergirl so much, I was really upset with just like, the treatment of how it went also. So I'm just sitting here because I'm reading comics, and I'm going through the pre-New 52 stuff. And I finished all that, and I'm like, why is it so hard to write a consistently good Supergirl? And I guess this comes back to, why is it so hard to write a consistently good Superman? But then you see there's so much good Superman content that doesn't always seem to be the case. You have some very good templates as far as television and movies go, and as far as actual storylines in the comics go. So for some reason, they just don't port that, I guess, feel over to Supergirl very well. And I don't know why that's the case whatsoever. Seems like any mildly competent writer, or any mildly even average writer, could just look at what works and take it and make it. So if you look at the shows that worked for Superman, I mean, Smallville was very good. It was a lot of fun. It dialed up all the romance elements of it to make it a CW show, of course, but it worked. Everything about that show worked on every level. It was fun. Everybody enjoyed it. It started a little monster of the week, which was fine, and then it progressed really and came into its own. That was very fun. If you look at Lois and Clark before that, Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman, it worked. Again, it just like the characters were dialed, the actors in it were fantastic. Again, Melissa Benoit is wonderful as Supergirl. I can't ask for more than is her. But the writers are just unable to look back at what worked for these shows and transport this over. It doesn't make any sense. Again, this is in the comics. This is in the show. It just seems like people don't have a grasp of how to make Supergirl an iconic, good character. And it's not just the female element of it, or the clone character element of it. I mean, obviously, Supergirl is a derivative character of Superman, right? And you get that derivative, and so Superman's always going to take priority in that. But you have the same thing with Batman and Batgirl, and yet at the same time, they seem to be able to write good Batgirl stories all the time. You looked at even when it changed characters to Cassandra Cain or Stephanie Brown, the Batgirl stories just flowed very well. There's something about Supergirl is just the writers don't know what to do, and it's odd. The really good Supergirl run by Peter David isn't really Supergirl at all. It's some random alien clone thing that shapeshifts, and he makes his own story and just completely ignores the character, to be honest. And so it's not even, they should have honestly titled it something else, which they do later. He reboots it basically as a show or a comic called Fallen Angel. But you really have to go back to pre-Crisis to get a good Supergirl, like the best Supergirl story of actual Supergirl. And if you go into the Daring Adventures of Supergirl by Paul Kupperberg, he actually dials it in. You have a good, a nice homegrown girl who's going off to a big college town for the first time, experiencing life like that for the first time, and fighting villains as they show up, and it makes sense. And there's nothing preachy about it. There's nothing annoying about it. You just read a good story every week or every month at the time, and it worked out very well. So there's templates to be able to do this. You can just copy Daring Adventures of Supergirl's sort of background and characters and all that. You can play into the Superman mythos and kind of ape Smallville or Lois and Clark on a younger girl power level or whatever. It shouldn't be that hard to do. But I guess the show has now been canceled. I just found this out. I haven't watched it in years. It just went down the tubes quick, and you saw even the promos for the last couple of years even pushed it further off the rails. So it's sad. So I guess they are adding Melissa Benoit into other series, which is nice. I haven't watched any of these other series. I couldn't handle The Flash even personally. The Flash wasn't as bad as Supergirl by any means, but that's supposed to be the best of them almost. And that being the case, I haven't really watched any of these, but I guess it's good that she gets to continue the character because, like I said, I think she does a pretty good job. What I'd like to see actually is a feature film with her as Supergirl, and maybe with a team of writers who actually understands the character a little bit better, just ignoring this CW universe thing. So this is something that could have been good. It wasn't good. Look at this art here. What's this from? What is this from? I don't know. Beautiful. This might be the Daring Adventures of Supergirl, but I can't see the title. It really had a lot of potential, and I'm really sad about it, is what it comes down to. And it just shows the importance of good writing and people who understand, love, and cherish the characters and the history of the characters. You have to preserve the history and do things right if you want to come up with something good. Honestly, I could write a brilliant Supergirl show, but they'll never hire me. It's unfortunate. That's it for the day. I just wanted to talk about this because I was reading this morning. I just saw this picture and I was like, wow, she is what an elegant young woman who I really liked her portrayal. I just wish, she had writers up to the caliber of what it could have been. All right. Leave a comment down below. Are you watching any of this stuff? Do you watch any of the CW shows at all? Let me know. Hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll be back soon.